Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of math to show how you might figure out if you've actually made what you think you've made. We're going to take information about the empirical formula, and this should look familiar, but I've put in some numbers off to the side. So if you go back, if you can't remember how to do this, if you go back to the section where it talks about adding up molar masses, that's what I did for all of these molecules. So this one right here has carbon. So carbon weighs 12.01. Hydrogen weighs 1.01. I meant to say has a mass of. There you go. And oxygen has a mass of 16.00. That's from the periodic chart, and so you just find those on the periodic chart. Now there's 2 hydrogen, so I need to multiply it by 2, and then you just put it in your calculator all at once. Times 2 plus 16. So when you do all this together, you get that the molar mass is 30.03. So to save time, and if you want to go and practice some more, you can. But to save time, I went ahead and wrote the molar masses out for this one. That's this one's molar mass. And that's this one's molar mass. And this is an unknown's molar mass. We'll do something with that one soon. And then down here, again, this was nitrogen. So nitrogen is 14.01, and you can look it up. Oxygen is 16.00, and there's 2 of them. So times 2, 14.01 plus 16.00 times 2. So you get the 46 right there. So, and I just did the same thing over on the right-hand side, adding up everything on the right-hand side. So these are grams per mole, and this is grams per mole, and this is grams per mole. So I kind of skipped a few steps just to get on to what we're going to talk about. But you can do those steps and make sure that you've got how to do that. All right, so we already said that we have some instrumentation that can help us figure out this ratio. And so let's say that you're trying to make this or this. You put in an instrument and you find out that it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and then you start getting excited. Oh, there's a chance that you made the right thing. You go and you tell your boss. Everyone's super excited, and they're like, okay, go stick it in this other instrument because this other one will give you the molar mass. So let's say you go and you stick it in the other instrument and it gives this molar mass. That's probably enough to prove to people that you really did make what you were intending to make, especially if you know your starting materials. So that's great. Or maybe you stick it in and this is the molar mass. And so oh, I didn't make this. I must have made the byproduct I thought could have been a problem. I made the byproduct. Oh, I got to go back and kind of rework that reaction. And that's just a normal part of the process. What if, though, you got this number here? So to find out the formula, so you already know that it's this. You already know what the ratio is, so that means you know the empirical formula. To find out the formula for what you did make, it's really easy. You take the big number, which is this one, 150.15. You divide it by the little number, 30.03, and that will tell you how many more atoms that there are. So 150.15 divided by 30.03 gives you 5. So what that means is that instead of it being 1 to 2 to 1, it's going to be 5 to 10 to 5. So the formula that you actually made was C5H10O5. And maybe that was nothing near what you expected to happen. Could have been a happy mistake, and maybe you can do something great with it. Maybe not. But this information is really important. You could have, since you kind of knew what you were going to make over on these top 2 ones, you didn't have to do the extra math, but we could have. And so we could have said that the formula that came out was 180.18. That's the big number. We're going to divide it by the small number. That's the empirical formula number. So 180.18 divided by 30.03. So that gives us, it's a multiple of 6. So it would be 6 to 12 to 6. And notice that is 6 to 12 to 6. Now let's go to the lower example right down here. And in this case, you're kind of thinking you're making this or this, but instead you made this. So you take the 184, that's the large number, that's the thing you don't know, 184.04, and you divide it by the empirical formula's mass, 184.004, divided by 46.01, and it gives you that it's a multiple of 4. So instead of being 1 to 2, it's going to be 4 to 8. So this unknown is actually in 408. So if you want to know the official formula for how to do this, you just write the molecular formulas, molar mass, divided by the empirical formula, molar mass. And you probably will have to calculate this because you probably will just be given the empirical formula. You won't be given this and this. You only really have to be given this because you can always add up the atoms and you can get the empirical formula as molar mass. And what that will tell you is it will tell you what to multiply the subscripts.